What is going on, everyone? Happy Hump Day, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. In today's show, we are covering Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have not only bought, but they've also sold Bitcoin. We'll talk about that. We're also
Saylor sold Bitcoin?
Saylor sold.
Stop it.
He said he was never going to sell. The man sold. We'll cover that. Plus, we have an update on FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, and a class action lawsuit. But before we get into the content, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, we discuss the price of Bitcoin that has not moved. We're getting close to a month yet? When was the last time this thing moved?
Long time.
Been a long time?
Almost a month.
It's actually been officially a month. We've been at 16K. So not a lot of movement as of lately. But don't be discouraged. There will be higher highs in Bitcoin at some point in time, and we will get out of this rut that we're currently in. And what a better time now than to buy. Everything's still on Christmas sale. So there you go.
You know what has been moving?
What's that? Oh,
so these stocks right here, Netflix down 60%. So your $10,000 investment is now in Netflix at the beginning of the year is now worth, or since the peak, is now worth $4,100. Tesla's down 72%. Anything above Tesla that you see has lost more than Bitcoin has. And some of these companies are in the S&P 500. And so when someone tells you Bitcoin is too volatile, crypto is too volatile, show them this chart. Show them this chart. And you might be wondering, well, where's all the money going? Well, the only legally said risk-free asset, which is U.S. Treasury securities, look at these rates, man. 4.74 on a one-year note. 4.4% on a two-year note. Over 4% on 3-year. And then it dips down until you get to the 30-year. Then
let me ask you a question. If I were to say, hey, man, you want to earn some money? And you say, and what would you say?
I'd say no.
You don't want to earn money?
I'd say yes.
Okay. so David wants to earn some money. I'm like, all right, give me $1,000 and I'll give you some interest on it. How long would you like to hold? How about you? How about you give me $1,000 for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years? But what if I said you get the biggest returns if you only let me hold it for 1 year? Logically, it would only make sense to lock it up for a year.
Yeah.
Right? And doesn't bode well for the long-term economy, right? When you're incentivized to keep your bonds locked up for on the short term, that's a problem.
Here's the thing. What you guys got to understand is,
I wouldn't want to lock it up long term regardless of what the rates
Treasury
are.
bills, Treasury notes, Treasury bonds, they're a way for the government to raise money. Think of it that way, right? They're issuing shares. And why does a company issue shares? To raise money. And so when people are more incentivized, and that's why the yield curve inversion is such a big deal when the 2-year flips to 10-year, is because now investors, they're more apt to put it in a 1-year, 2-year, 3-year versus a longer term 30-year, right? So instead of the government having to wait 30 years to pay out, the initial investment plus the interest, I believe they pay every 6 months for notes and bills. But you also, who's going to invest 30 years? It's all 1 year, 2 year. And so that side of the Treasury securities market is more liquid now, whereas it used to be the 30-year bonds, 20-year bonds. So it's all backwards. And that's why people think, people say, and it shows that when the 2-year inverts on the 10-year, 9 out of 9.5 times, we do see a recession follow.
That is an amazing metric, David. 9 out of 9.5 times. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be matching my portfolio right now.
Which is $1?
Which is $0.
Oh, man.
Do want to give some love to the chat, though. So to those of you that are new watching, say hello so that way we can drop an hola back at you. That's an hola without the H in case you're unfamiliar. And we got Let's see. We got the JD Club, Burke 3, Rob Dale, Eli Chanel, Andre, anyone. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
I saw you guys. In the around the blockchain chat yesterday saying "Hola." Someone was like, "Oh, these bots are here." We're not bots. We're people.
Are not bots.
We're people.
You could have. Yeah, I've been seeing it. You know, we've asked our community to represent Sin City, and every time you're in someone else's chat, you drop a hola. So I've been visiting. I've been testing the waters. And I've been fishing, and I've been dropping holas in other people's chats, and then instantly a spam of holas right back at me. So brings a tear to my eye, man.
Yeah, okay. Let's
so a little just to kind of get back onto the onto the stocks being down as much as they are. You know,
you surprised Tesla's down over 70%?
No. They were so overpriced. You remember?
Even Elon said they were overpriced.
Dude,
that's the funny thing.
Was like, and I got some friends that were, heavily DCing into Tesla on the way up, and I'm just like, guys, this thing is overpriced. Like, kind of the same way, I guess. People buying Bitcoin at 50,000. I wasn't buying Bitcoin at 50,000. Did you buy Bitcoin at all at 50,000? I was getting into some alts. I think I kind of timed it a little late.
I think the highest I bought was like 46, I think.
Yeah. So, did I think that we were going to have a bigger run up? Were we probably due for a bigger run up if it wasn't for FTX's manipulation and the collapse of Luna? I think so. I think if Luna hadn't collapsed, or at least hadn't grown to the size it was and then collapsed, I think we were kind of on track for 80,000, 90,000, maybe $100,000 Bitcoin. But I think that the failures of the institutions, FTX, and also the failure and greed of the algorithm and kind of the ignorance of how that was going to play out, I think also gave our bull run a shorter term lifespan. So, but with that said, did not pile into Bitcoin near the top, but I did take some substantial losses.
Here's the thing, even
not timing out altcoins.
Even if you guys literally bought the top 69,000, if you're just patient and you wait a few years, you'll make your money back plus some. So the only way you lose is if you sell.
And I actually got asked on around the blockchain about risk management and kind of what to do if you're not able to stomach the Bitcoin price right now. And I'm like, hey man, if you're not relying on the cash, then why not exit your position on Bitcoin and pepper in some new or shift over and diversify into altcoins. Layer ones are extremely low right now on the price as far as history is concerned from all-time highs. So you can pretty much you pick 3 or 4 layer ones, you got a good bet there to get 10x returns.
What are 3 or 4 layer ones?
Cardano, Ethereum. Will Ethereum 10x? You think Ethereum will cross 10K?
So there's some stuff I'm worried about with Ethereum, and we'll get into that here.
So just kind of before we get into that, do you think next bull run Ethereum crosses 10K? Remember, it got up to 5K. It got up to 5K last time. And the last bull run, you had Ethereum. Let me take a look here.
Yeah.
Last bull run. So taking a look at the price history of Ethereum.
Someone said Cosmos. Taste you.
So
like Cosmos.
Yeah, the last bull run, Ethereum got up to 1,000. And so if you kind of use the similar premise, if it got up to 1,300 and now we're right around the same peak as we were before, it'd be if you were to just use the same kind of, the last high was this bottom, you could say that the next bottom will be 5,000. And so if you were to theoretically, if you're to take this kind of theory in hand, and this is played out several times, you just got to look at history. Bitcoin is the best example of this. And so if this high would be the next cycle low, then if you bought Ethereum at 1,000, even if you missed it completely whiffed on your exit strategy on the next bull run, you would still bottom out at $4,000. That's the bottom. So you're talking about worst case scenario, absolute worst trading, the worst trading performance you can have. If you hold for 4 years, even if you buy and sell that at the worst time, you bought right now, you're going to make at least a 4x.
Real quick, huge shout out to Jessica. She said she picked up ETH at $700. Can we get a round of applause for Jessica? Jessica, amazing job. I want to throw some rapid fire out there for you. You had to pick one to hold to the height of the next bull run. Okay?
Okay.
Avalanche or Solana?
Ooh, definitely Avalanche.
Okay. Hedera or Algorand?
Hedera.
Any reason why? Specific reason why?
I think next bull run, we start to see the integration of CBDCs, which is a strong suit for Algorand. I just don't think that it's going to have the global adoption that you think it will. But what will get adoption will be corporations and institutions. And I think Hedera is positioning themselves to accommodate for that industry. Okay. And so I think you're going to get a more explosive institutional investor piling in versus government and central banks and main banks and hedge funds. I think that's where the money's going to pour in from.
Okay. What about Cosmos and Polkadot?
Cosmos.
Me too. I used to be very bullish on Polkadot, man, and I don't know, man. Gavin Wood, I don't know. I'm not really happy with the guy.
I'm not a big fan of the auctions. Like, why are you auctioning off?
The parachain auctions? Yeah, but they're saying their development's happening. I don't know, man.
It's out of, I have no computer science degree. It's kind of out of my realm of understanding, but every time I try to kind of figure out what the hell they stand for, what the roadmap is looking like, where they're, I get kind of confused. And I've been in this space for a while. I'm not trying to sit here and say like, hey, if I'm confused, don't buy it. I'm not saying that, but like, good Lord, man, I do a lot of research, man. And it's been years. I'm still looking at this thing. And I'm like, even on the most basic, simple level, I don't know what the hell is going on, man. Yeah. And at face value, I see essentially these parachain auctions are essentially partnerships, right? Partnerships with a time horizon. Yeah. And then, you have partnerships that can get bought and sold, that basically you have to stake tokens. And I don't know, man. I think that an ecosystem should be more organic, and I don't think you should have to pay for functionality and use case. And I also don't think that people should vote for what is dominant on a platform. I think you should let the free market decide. If you got a crappy project, then let it fail. You got a good project, it's going to float to the top. That's my understanding, and maybe I got it wrong. Maybe Polkadot is hiding that in their web of confusing, parachains, but that's just kind of my vibe. So.
I want to give a shout out to Jimmy, the official Sin City hype man. We haven't seen Jimmy in the chat a while. Jimmy is one of our whale members. Jimmy, we love you, my friend. He's helped us out with numerous issues here in the studio. And he just gifted 20 memberships. Kyler's having a spasm over there. Also, chat, make sure to like the video. Also, play along here because I got one more question. Okay, so Rob, this is not these next two projects. Don't think of it because they're not in the same kind of realm, right? But they have the same similar tokenomics, right? 14 million tokens. One is in DeFi, one is in that CBDC layer 0. So, are you doing Quant or are you doing Aave? To hold until the end of the next bull run. That's a good one. I guess you could break it down to, and guys, chat, play along as well. You're breaking it down to, okay, what's going to have a bigger bull run? DeFi or?
I'll do Aave, man.
Aave?
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to go Quant, man.
I think so. Just what sector is going to pop off more? I think there's more upside. I think Quant, you'll get similar performance as far as the token price and kind of the adoption as you would other layer ones. I think there's so much competition outside of Ethereum when it comes to layer ones that they're all going to kind of cannibalize themselves. Not to say that it's a bad look, because you know what, at the end of the day, you're gonna have so much more capital. So I mean, you're gonna get 10x's. That's why I keep saying, I'm like, yo, all these layer ones are juicy. You're gonna get 10x's, but it's not a lot of competition on the real DeFi landscape that has a token that is, you know, used for voting power, and also provides liquidity, earn reward. Anyways, the Aave token, I think it has more upside. I think you have more potential for gains, especially if the DeFi sector blows up, which I do think it is on the next bull run as well. So
a lot of people in our chat are saying Quant. What do you guys think? Would you rather hold Quant, or would you rather hold Aave?
I think Quant
until the next bull run.
Quant is a better. I think Quant is a smarter pick. I think it's probably.
You're saying Aave is a little more risky.
I think so. And here's the thing: I don't think it has the risk of downside. I just think it has more potential to pop off. I think you can look at.
What about
Aave.
Regulatory risk, Robin? You have Aave that still isn't regulated, and Quant is.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
it's not regulated.
Yeah, it gets into my point even more so. I mean, yes, there's downside risk. There's downside risk with everything. You could say the same thing with Quant. You know, hey, could the SEC go after him? Yeah, like, sure. Could you know the U.S. government apply regulation that stifles innovation when it comes to DeFi? Absolutely. But with those two factors removed, I do think that if there's a resurgence of DeFi, and when I say resurgence, I'm talking about like everybody's using DeFi, and you know, you have apps and you know, the same way you got the Cash App and Venmo. The technology is here. It just needs adoption. You know, it just needs to be polished up, downloaded on an iPhone, and then more widely used. And then you could have something like Aave being the go-to mainstay for remittance payments around the world. And just, hey, we're going out to dinner. Let me just Aave you some cash. I think that could be a very common term that's used by everyone, even outside of the crypto space. I think people might just be sending Aave, you know, like, hey, just Aave me, you know, 50% of the dinner bill. I think that's something we might see. And these people might be saying that, not even realizing it's crypto. And so I think there's a potential for
really. That's not the main. I mean, I don't think that's the best.
I know you lock up, you get returns. I'm just saying that they are king of DeFi.
Aave and Compound.
They're king of DeFi, and I think, and they're also building. Man, they got a lot of stuff.
They just launched a stable coin.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it would not surprise me if they're just they offer more services than they do now. They get more use and more money locked up, and their token value just skyrocket. I think it's likely, honestly.
Frank Codispati said, "Quant all day. Quant is the Windows of crypto because it's software."
Real quick, you know, here's a little window into the recession possibilities for 2023. And so today, you know, the next couple of days, we're gonna kind of reflect on the last year in crypto, so 2022. Obviously, the year is coming to an end. 2022, man, what a roller coaster, right? Well, yeah. 2022, pretty much roller coaster just went down this year.
A terrible year,
but
price wise.
I mean, so many things. You know, if it was a roller coaster, there was those little breaks in the tracks.
It would be the one where like it's got like 20 loops and they get smaller as you go. And
no, it's the one from Donkey Kong that has the broken rails, and then there's like 4 or 5 cars trying to hit this jump, and like 3 of them fall off. You know, one being Voyager FTX. And then there's a couple degens that just clear the jump. You know, it's
barely
it's like a Donkey Kong game. Anyways, so we're gonna go through and have a little reflection on last year for the rest of the week. So we got today, tomorrow, and then Friday. Also, we might be preparing some videos of our own channel. It's kind of 2020 year in review. Anyways, here's Elon Musk on his thoughts on the recession coming up.
Well, I think it's more like it does seem like we're headed into a recession here in 2023. The magnitude of that recession is debatable, but I think it's at least a light to moderate recession. Potentially, it's on the order of 2009. So I think it's wise to kind of like prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. don't get too adventurous. Like watch out for margin debt. Like I would really advise people to not have margin debt in a volatile stock market. And from a cash standpoint, keep powder dry. You can get some pretty extreme things happening in a down market. Like it does seem like we're headed into a recession here.
He doesn't. The vibe there. He sounds kind of depressed, right?
I mean, he's depressed because
Tesla
needs so much. Tesla needs so much cash to operate. I wouldn't be surprised to see another stock split, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but
why? Stock splits are done to when the price gets too high to incentivize
people to come in. I know,
but the price is already way down.
Brings new money in. Well, it should bring new money in, right? I don't know. We'll see. He's definitely going to be trying to raise some money, though. He has been selling his own Tesla stock. Don't be surprised if you hear Elon or Tesla sold some Bitcoin. So we'll see. All right, let's get into the biggest news of the day, which was our title and our thumbnail. MicroStrategy, better known as Michael Saylor, adds to Bitcoin stake despite a steep loss. According to a new filing with the SEC, MicroStrategy said that it acquired 2,395 Bitcoin at an average price of $17,181 for a total of $42.8 million during the period from November 1st to December 21st. Also, though, subsequently, the company sold 704 Bitcoin at around $16.7 per coin for a total of $11.8 million on December 22nd. In a Bloomberg interview published earlier this year, Michael Saylor told reporters, quote, "We're only acquiring and holding Bitcoin, right? That's our strategy. We're not sellers." Today's filing represents the first publicly reported Bitcoin sale by the firm in recent memory. This is a quote from MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy plans to carry back the capital losses resulting from this transaction against previous capital gains to the extent such carrybacks are available under the federal income tax laws currently in effect, which may generate a tax benefit. Everyone's freaking out. Not out of the ordinary, guys. This happens all the freaking time. That's why you typically see the first 3 weeks in December usually is red, because a lot of what they're just they're navigating, right? They're tax loss harvesting. And so if Saylor can show, hey, we lost 60% from this Bitcoin we bought and we sold it, that could potentially move them into a completely different tax bracket. I know 11.8 million is not that much money, which is what the 704 Bitcoin comes out to. But are you upset that they've said they will never sell Bitcoin and they sold it for whatever reason, however reasonable the reason is?
Did they really sell Bitcoin?
No.
Exactly. They didn't sell.
They still
sell. Yes, they sent some Bitcoin away to an exchange.
700 Bitcoin that flooded the market, man.
If I gave you 5 Bitcoin and then you sent me 15 back, did I sell Bitcoin? Did I sell 5 Bitcoin?
Yeah, you sold it, then you bought it.
No. If anything, especially when it comes with Bitcoin,
both things can be true.
Because yeah, it's just a wallet address. They sent the Bitcoin to a wallet address out, and then it came right back to the same wallet address. It's not selling.
How do you know that?
That's just taking advantage of the of tax situations. Here's the thing: are you gonna pay taxes on Bitcoin? Okay, here's the thing: if you never sell Bitcoin, I'm just saying from an institutional. Hey, you know what? Even for our viewers here, let's just say you bought 10 Bitcoin at $1,000, and so you paid 10 grand, and you have 10 Bitcoin. Let's just fast forward 10 years. Let's say Bitcoin's at $2 million, and now you have $20 million. And so your unrealized gains is basically $20 million minus the original 10,000 you put in. But basically, you're up $20 million. And so if you just sell then you're eating all of that capital gain. It's all there. Right when you say you pass it on, say you pass away, You give that to a family member, all taxed at 20 million. And so why not throughout the 10 years, just periodically sell your position and then buy back in and pay taxes on the way up instead of paying all at once? It's no different than paying taxes in real life. Could you imagine if you were running a business and you were like, hey, we can pay taxes every year, or we can just wait 10 years and then pay taxes all at once and then pay
but
$10 million.
Your capital gains tax,
I'm just
goes
saying
down
that for a tax strategy, and you can put it in a Roth IRA.
Yeah, but
there's but I'm saying on an institutional level.
But if you hold for over a year, you're saving 8 to 10% on your capital gains.
What I'm
tax.
saying is that with MicroStrategy, this ain't gonna be the last time either. And if they plan on holding forever in the way they do, I firmly believe that Bitcoin will get to $1 million. I'm not saying that number is like some pipe dream. I think if you have a long enough time horizon, I think you go out 10 years. I think $1 million Bitcoin is realistic expectation. And if that's the expectation, I mean, how much Bitcoin did they buy? 2,000 today, right?
Almost 2,400.
2,400
in a span of a month.
So
almost 2 months.
If you take that amount of Bitcoin, so 2,400 Bitcoin, and you multiply it by $1 million, that's
$2,400 million.
It's yeah, you're on point with the math. Took me a second. Thank you.
We know how to count cards. We know how to count.
That's right.
We're in Vegas, baby. Our math is.
Hey man, we always got poker chips with us. You know what I mean? Like, we're always ready to go, man. It's Vegas.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you don't wait that entire time to cash out. That's all I'm saying. Is that it's logical. It's not gonna be the last time. It's not really selling.
It's not really selling.
It's not.
So you're saying it's not selling because they bought 2,400 out on the back
in the same 24 hours. Yeah. If
no,
you
no,
would
no.
have
The 2,400 Bitcoin they bought was from November 1st till December 22nd.
So it wasn't the same.
But they sold the 701 day.
Anyways, I gotta say,
look,
a couple weeks.
Look, we know Michael Saylor is still a big Bitcoin guy.
Is he? He seems a little depressed. He seems a little upset.
Well, I mean, their average price of Bitcoin is $30K, and he's got 135,000 of them. I'm sure he's not too happy about that.
Here's a little reflection on 2022. So we had Elon talking about 2023's outlook when it comes to the world economy and the U.S. economy. Here's an interesting insight on what happened in 2022. Brought to you by Michael Saylor. So,
okay,
is that me?
And the biggest disappointment of 2022.
I mean, the biggest disappointment is just, all of the negative effects of having the crypto economy meltdown as we knew it was going to, but all of the people in the Bitcoin industry that are doing the right thing, that are working to grow the industry, have been slimed by their association with the rest of crypto. Right? It's like Do Kwon decides to buy some Bitcoin and screws up the Bitcoin market by blowing up a $60 billion complex. That's been a negative thing. The explosion of Three Arrows. And, well, I mean, what really makes you angry? What makes you angry is all the crypto neo banks and wildcat banks that collected people's money, or either got people's Bitcoin or they got their money to buy Bitcoin. And then they either never bought the Bitcoin, or they bought the Bitcoin and then panic sold or sold the Bitcoin in a fire sale as they were being forced liquidated. But it really makes you angry when you read about, say FTX that collected billions and billions of dollars, but never bought the Bitcoin actually. So
how's it?
Why is this a problem? If FTX.
What? But 69K would not have been the top for Bitcoin, right? If FTX wasn't, Alameda and FTX weren't involved?
No.
We would have gotten to 100K, right?
I think that, I said that earlier. I think we would have at least been at 80, 90K. I think 100K is an extreme. I mean, obviously, it's an extreme psychological number, and so, you know, would we have crossed it? I don't know, man. But I think definitely 65,000 was. I think that was selling ourselves short.
That's just.
I think
crazy.
85,000. I think 85 to 95,000. I think was where we were gonna end up for sure. If it wasn't for stupid,
Literally one person.
Sam Bankman-Fried and the failures of identifying the corruption. I mean, the corruption was there the whole time.
How about
people
fraud?
saw it?
How about fraud?
Corruption, fraud. Yeah, I mean, the thing was that policymakers, SEC, regulators, other exchanges,
That guy's a Grinch,
hedge
bro.
funds,
He stole
VC
our
funds,
He stole our bull market.
other projects. They identified this. They knew this. Solana, the devs at Solana knew what was going on. The venture capitalists knew there was shady business going on. And other projects knew things were going on. And even if you didn't have firsthand exposure, you had the inner circle that is the big names in crypto. They talk amongst each other. And it was no surprise that FTX was up to no good. But everybody's making money, so nobody cared to say anything. They're like, hey, yeah, we're making good money, man. FTX is, they're making money too, but whatever. We're making money. And so everyone turned a blind eye to it. And then anybody that did question it, that had authority or power, got bribed by FTX, right?
That's why the judge stepped down.
Yeah.
Judge stepped down after he got
The
away.
bond. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Complete BS, bro.
He was going to make bond
complete
anyway.
BS.
He was going to
No, but
make...
they gave him the bond at like a fraction. Did you listen?
They
to
didn't have to
BitBoys
put up
explain?
any cash.
Absurd, right?
Just collateral. No money. Just
$250
collateral.
million bail.
Bond.
He was going to get out regardless. So...
Yeah, but then he gets out and flies first class home.
Yeah, man. I don't like that look, bro. That's just
It seems so much sketchy stuff.
Where'd
is
you
going
want him
on
to
with
fly?
that.
In the luggage compartment?
not first class. What happened
He's
to
like-
Mr.
he's
I
like-
don't
he's
have
right-
money.
he's
I
right
only got
next to,
100K in the bank. What happened? I only have 100K in the bank. You have enough to spend 10 grand on first class?
Dude, he didn't buy his own plane ticket. He got escorted out by
Who was that
the
guy?
U.S. Justice Department and the FBI and Homeland Security. And it's easier for them to keep tabs on him in first class where there's less people. Obviously, you have more room to. I'm not saying that I advocate for it, but I'm just saying that it's not like so. When you extradite somebody, you always get first class. It's common protocol. I don't think he got special treatment. I don't think
that's
they.
after he posted bail after he got here.
Well, no, he posted. So that was his flight from the Bahamas here, and so his flight from the Bahamas here, he flew first class. But I think that's standard protocol.
No, that was after he got out of jail, bro.
It was definitely
It was after he got out of jail.
What do you mean?
So they posted the bond in the U.S. and then he flew home. He flew to Palo Alto.
No.
Yes. Go
He had to
look.
go. He went. He
was
went.
free. He wasn't.
He,
in cuffs.
yes, he was under custody when he came from Bahamas to the U.S. Trust me, bro. Trust me.
Yeah,
And when
somebody
they
took a
flew
picture
first
of
class,
him.
that picture, that was
So you're
after
saying
posted bond.
he got U.S. bond being in custody in Bahamas?
No, he was in custody when they extradited him to the U.S. He came to the U.S. in custody, went
Yeah.
to court, got the
Yeah.
bond, and then
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
When he left, that's when he flew first class.
He didn't fly.
Yes, he did.
He flew, all those flights are him flying from the Bahamas to.
That last one where he was sitting in first class with his little beard, that was from wherever he was going to his parents' house. So,
You sure about that?
yeah, he
Pretty sure.
No, that was his flight from the Bahamas.
That was not the flight from Bahamas, bro. Trust me. So Kev 83 said there's literally no way to tell just throwing random numbers. Yeah, you're right, bro. There is no way to tell. But what we do know is in previous bull markets, Bitcoin has 25x, 2,500%, 3,000%. And this time we only get what, from 20K to 70K? That doesn't sound right. So I don't know.
It
We'll
was a flight from JFK to San Francisco.
Yeah. Told you, bro. Don't you question me.
But he also flew.
Question,
He
David?
also flew.
Great,
So
yeah.
he flew first class as well. So I know he flew first class from Bahamas to.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
So when he went from Bahamas to wherever, I guess New York, right?
From Southern District of New York.
Yeah. So
but
from
just
there,
the fact that he was able to get out on bail with putting like next to no money down on a $250 million bond, or his bail was set for $250 million.
Well,
here's the thing: he was gonna
anything. Like what?
he was. If you're
Shouldn't have been able to get out of
not
there.
if you're not a risk to the public as far as being a danger to people's health, you're gonna make bail anyways. And so
it's just it's just weird. Okay, it's
okay.
just
Here's
weird.
the thing.
No, here's what's weird.
If he flees, but
it's not about fleeing, Robin. What's weird is that the freaking judge who gave him that amount, stepped away because he was being bribed. Because he had ties to Sam.
Conflict of interest.
He had a conflict of interest.
That's not coincidence to you?
No. But they stepped away after he got out on bail.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Not before. They could have just closed the conflict of interest before.
This is not a tinfoil hat moment.
It goes back to the same premise. He was going to get out anyways. He wasn't going to sit in jail for 3 years waiting for trial.
Maybe it wouldn't have been, hey, parents, just post your house as collateral. That's it.
You got money. That's what happens.
$50 million was supposed to be.
No, that's not how it works. Usually it's 10%, but not even that amount was put up.
Right.
It was just collateral that was put up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, and I get it. They might not think he's a fleet risk. I think he's a possible flight risk.
Yeah.
They might not
he
think
has an ankle monitor, and he had to give up his passport. He's not going anywhere.
Well, I mean, flew first class. That's insane. I don't know, man. It's just weird. The judge set the bail and then stepped away. I just think it's weird. Like, if you knew that, if the judge knew that, Robin, why would his
parents?
Why would the judge step in, do the bond, and then step down? Why not just from the beginning?
Do you think there's any state circuit judge that doesn't have some kind of ties to the Bankman-Fried family's tree?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
You think so?
I don't know. There's
I think
hundreds of federal judges in the United States. You think every one of them? Hell no.
In New York? No, I'm telling you, man. I think that dude's family. I mean, you saw the Caroline.
His family's very connected. They're like, yes,
and
I
his
get
dad,
it, but that doesn't make
MIT,
it right, man.
Gary Gensler. She's worked for the IMF. His mom is, she's also been a securities lawyer. His dad is taught at MIT. Like, dude, they are the who's who of everybody. And not to mention, you're in politics, and all these politicians they're the ones that appoint the judges. Man. It's so much.
It's all corrupt. But I just think if you were going to recuse yourself, why not do it before you even had the bond hearing?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's just weird. Speaking of Sam and Alameda and frauds, Sam borrowed $550 million from Alameda to fund the Robinhood shares. Now, the shares of Robinhood are what's kind of what people are fighting over. Sam is saying it's his. BlockFi is saying it's theirs. BlockFi is saying it's theirs because that was pledged as collateral for the loan they gave Alameda, which obviously Alameda's not paying, so the collateral should be theirs. Also, you have FTX customers saying, yo, this is our shares because guess what? He used customer funds to buy these shares. And so this is from Cointelegraph. SBF borrowed over $546 million from Alameda to fund his purchase of the Robinhood shares. Those same shares were later used by Sam as collateral for a loan taken by Alameda from BlockFi. He and FTX co-founder Gary Wang took out the loans from Alameda through 4 promissory notes between April and May of this year. On April 30th, loans of around $316 and $35 million were given to SBF and Gary Wang, respectively. Just 15 days later, 2 loans, around $175 and $19.4 million, were given to Sam Bankman-Fried. The loans were used to fund SBF's Antiguan-based shell company, Emergent Fidelity Technologies, which is a company that acquired the 7.6% stake in Robinhood at a price of $648 million at the time. Who should the shares belong to? Legally, okay, so...
The creditors of FTX, people they owe money to?
Give it back to the people, man.
The creditors. The people are creditors as well.
Well, speaking of the people, that's a good segue, because the people are filing a class action lawsuit against FTX to have their payments prioritized instead of the secured creditors. 4 FTX customers filed a class action lawsuit demanding priority in repayment, citing $2 billion in customer funds, which have gone missing. Retail customers who suffered financial losses following the bankruptcy filing of FTX and Alameda, quote, should not have to stand in line with other creditors waiting for the fund recovery. The plaintiffs said that the unlawful FTX transfers to Alameda were, quote, in direct violation of FTX's own customer agreements and terms of service, as well as common law and basic principles of honesty and fair dealing. This is a quote from the court filing. Cash and assets traceable to customers which never belonged to FTX or Alameda and do not belong to the estates should be earmarked solely for the customers, and victimized customers should likewise have priority to any other cash possessed or recovered by the affiliated debtors. That's an interesting argument. Now, in bankruptcy, if you're not familiar, Chapter 11, there's levels of debt of creditors. You have secured, unsecured, employees, blah, 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 blah. So if you're a consumer, if you're a customer of FTX, you are considered an unsecured creditor, which typically in bankruptcy filings, you are one of the last people to get your money back. But they bring up a good point. They bring up a good point.
You know what's sad? That this is a court case, and court cases are usually won by who has a better lawyer. Who do you think is going to have a better lawyer? The people,
but it's a class action, though.
I know. But who's going to have a better?
Maybe one
who's
of
going to have a better team? The lawyers,
Hey, you never
or
know.
these billion-dollar
What if Brady's
corporations?
one of these people, bro? He's got money.
Does he? I think he lost a lot of money in this this crash.
Messed up.
Not only did he lose the last Super Bowl, but he also. Anyways,
I wouldn't want him and his posse on,
I
so
wouldn't hold.
money.
I'll just put it this way: if you were the regular investor, just a regular trader, you just had money on the exchange and now it's gone, I wouldn't hold your breath on being first in line and getting paid out. History has said that the institutional money gets paid back first. We all know that. This lawsuit is an attempt to change that, but you're going against some companies that have a lot of money and a big team of lawyers as well. I do want to take a quick minute to say hello to some of the new people in the chat. So if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola. We got CT, Burnt Floor, Del Mays, G. We got Dennis, Darren, A, XRO, Veg, Derek, Reels, Pranjal, ADHD Engineering, Lucky Thoughts, Stackmasters, Jesse M, Omar Rogers, and Rudy Poo. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. I do have I wanted to play around with the chat here for a second. I got a question I want to ask y'all here. Okay, so guys in the chat, let me know. I'm a big breakfast coffee kind of guy. Let me know what y'all think here. Let me get some numbers and letters here.
Ooh.
What's your breakfast looking like? You going with that number 5 and the letter F, or you going with maybe a softer number 1 with the black A? You going black coffee with no toast?
I'm going 3D, baby.
You going 3D?
3D.
Oh, you're right in the middle, huh? You're pretty boring, bro.
3A.
You're 3A,
like
black coffee and just lightly toasted.
Yeah.
See, I like number 5 on the toast.
Yeah, because you're weird.
And then F. I'm a 5F kind of guy. A lot of cream.
Jesus Christ.
And just enough burntness on the bread that it's not overwhelming, but you still get kind of that char taste.
Who in the world would pick 6? Unless you're doing a prank on someone.
You know what? My ex-wife, she loved 6, man. Every time I overcooked toast, I would go to throw it away. She's like, stop.
That's disgusting.
Stop. I'll take it.
Overcooked toast.
Yes.
Straight to jail. At least she's your ex-wife. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little weird to me. That's a red flag to me. If you like toast that burnt.
What if
a
you're
red
like
flag.
6A? 6A, I feel like your taste buds are gone, bro. So chat, let us know what number letter combo you going with here.
A lot of 5s and a lot of C's.
A lot of 5s and
Rocco wants to know, where's the cappuccino and the brioches? No brioches, Rocco. Jesus Christ. Interesting. Someone whoever tweeted that said 3C is the only right answer.
Did we get any? R.A. Daniel said 6. He didn't
He's
even. He doesn't
joking.
even want the
He's
coffee,
joking, bro.
Look, Ari Daniel just says 6.
You don't want some coffee
He
to
doesn't
wash
even
down
want
that
coffee.
burnt toast?
Yeah, he's just straight chewing on that. He's picking those little burnt flakes out of his teeth for the rest of the day, bro.
That'd be roughing up your
Oh,
mouth,
God.
man.
You know, Rocco, when we were talking about
Can I put a 7? A 7 on the toast.
oh man. You know, Rocco had mentioned moving on from this. It's interesting though. Definitely I'm 3D kind of guy. But a lot of people like black coffee. I'm seeing that as well. A lot of A's. 4 and no coffee. No sugar, no cream. Okay. So Rocco mentioned Sam is probably gonna disappear and die and enjoy all the money, the customer money that he still has. Well, speaking of customer money, and Sam and Alameda, the ETH addresses of Alameda are digging around on the sofa to spare change, and they're swapping to ERC20s. ETH and USDT are then funneled through instant exchanges. So these are all on chain. So essentially, Alameda wallets are on the move, and they're converting to wrapped Bitcoin. They're sending them to mixer services like Fix, Float, and Change Now. Who is having access to these, bro? What is going on?
What's the name of the new CEO that's supposed to be like managing the bankruptcy?
John Ray.
Obviously, that's not him, right? Why would he send it to a mixer service?
That's what
So
I'm saying.
if it's not John Ray, if it ain't the
Who's the only person that hasn't been caught up yet? Dan Friedberg. I don't even know.
don't dismiss the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried has been
on
his
bond.
laptop.
He's off bond, and all of a sudden the money moves. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's total BS, man. What do you guys think? Who is behind the movement of this Alameda wallet? And if you remember, there was like 7 Bitcoin on FTX. Now it's 0. I don't know, man. You know what pisses me off more than this? Well, I don't know what pisses me off more, but equally, the freaking New York Times is just all up on freaking Sam and FTX. I just don't understand these weird softball, we feel sorry for this guy headlines and pieces that they're writing. This is their tweet. So the title is, "In the Bahamas, a lingering sympathy for Sam Bankman-Fried." And they tweeted that article and wrote, "In the US, Sam Bankman-Fried is a persona non grata, but in interviews across the Bahamas, residents say that his crimes are hardly comparable to the gang violence of the island.
Can we stop with
And
this,
expressed
man?
fears of and expressed fears of economic fallout if crypto investors don't return."
New York Times, like, what are you doing? That's like if your dog dies and then somebody comes out and be like, well, it's nothing compared to the tsunamis in Asia. Like, what, like, stop it. like, I'm serious, man. Like, I get it. There's more evils in the world than Sam Bankman-Fried. I understand that. But when it comes to
This is the biggest fraud in U.S. history.
yes,
Possibly in the world.
in
But I've
our
never seen him
bubble,
stab nobody.
in our bubble, I understand that there's things that are worse in the crypto and financial sector in the world. Like, I get it. Like, there's human atrocities, there's global wars, there's just crazy racism. And anyways, you can always find a worse narrative. I get that. But it doesn't diminish what the dude did and what happened here. And the dude was literally running one of the biggest frauds and just
No.
I just don't get it,
Okay. This is how you know this guy was an evil piece of crap. He convinced his own employees and lied to them to take all their money in FTT token and to invest in the company weeks and months after they hired bankruptcy lawyers. They were telling their employees to put all their
here's the thing. I don't feel sorry for the employees. I feel like if you were there
Bro.
was evidence, and whether you wanted
They
to
don't
ignore
know
it or
the
not.
inner workings of what
The
they were
employees
doing.
didn't know the inner workings.
You
There
think the
had to have
random
been-
Robert?
there had to have been some guy with a coffee cup like this.
You think the random
And
person
he was at a
responding to
water
emails?
cooler. He was at a water cooler and like,
You're wrong. You're wrong on this. You
I'm
think the
wrong.
random?
You think the FCX employees?
It's the people at the highest level, man.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been at a job?
Why would they dump their money into
Have you
the
ever been
company?
at a job where, let me ask you something. Have you ever been at a job where all of a sudden there's whispers about the boss being drunk and stealing money, and the employees don't have any evidence, but they know it. They're like, yo, the boss is a piece of crap, and I know he is. And I'm telling you, if the FTX employees, if you worked at FTX and you had no clue that there was any kind of fraud going on, I mean, there was evidence in front of evidence in front of evidence here in front of us on the United States.
Like what?
And we decided to ignore
Like
it.
what?
Like we talked about all those liquidations. You say you had all of those.
Okay, that doesn't mean they were being fraudulent at the time.
They were being fraudulent, bro.
No,
At
you're
the
wrong,
time,
man.
yes.
You're wrong.
They were.
No, you can't tell me that the random person responding to customer emails knew what the hell was going on.
Okay,
50 floors up.
maybe there was 4
Majority
or 5
of people had no idea.
Majority
And
of
those
people knew exactly what was going on. There was so much fraud and corruption from top to bottom there. I mean, it didn't take a genius. And if you had your blinders on so much that you couldn't see like all the fraud going on in every corner of that institution, then you know what? Good for you, man. Good for you. If you were that ignorant that you couldn't see the
You're
fraud.
an idiot, bro.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you're an idiot.
If you worked at FTX and you had no idea there was fraud going on, you're not good at your job, bro. Or at least you're a puppet.
That is a complete slap to the face of people who lost their entire livelihoods, bro.
I'm sure there are a couple people there that maybe had no idea. But I'm telling you, 95% of the people that worked at FTX, they knew what was up. They knew what was up. And we've heard it from the interviews of people that worked there. They were like, yeah, man, this was common knowledge, whatever. We didn't question it.
It was
blah, blah,
common
blah.
knowledge that Sam was pulling all the strings, that Sam would give the final okay
maybe
on
they
decisions.
didn't know how deep the rabbit
It was
hole
not
went.
common knowledge that they were manipulating tokens and manipulating the markets. That was not common knowledge. It was common knowledge to
I
the
think it
person
was
who blew
common
the
knowledge.
whistle, which
It
was
was common
an
knowledge.
executive at FTX.
And you heard about the what was going on with Alameda and listing the tokens with all these different projects. That was common knowledge in the
That
industry.
was not, but what they were doing was not common knowledge. Creating fake ones out of thin air, that was not common knowledge.
I disagree with you.
I'm just saying, man, it's messed up. That dude's evil, bro. That dude's evil.
No, it's messed up. He took advantage of the people that worked for him. I get that. I'm not saying that they deserved it by any means, but I'll tell you what, they had a lot more information, a lot more insight into the inner workings of FTX, and they should. And if I have to choose, who do I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for the person here in Mexico, in the US, and in Germany that had no exposure to the inner workings of FTX, and they just had no idea.
So
they
you're
just
saying
watched a
hundreds of
commercial.
employees just blindly didn't say anything
Yep.
and just kept putting
Yep.
money in. You're dumb.
Yep.
Okay. That is the worst argument you have ever made in the history
Your
of the
worst
show.
argument is that you think this company that was so poorly ran or was running QuickBooks that nobody at the
Who
company
has
had any
access to
idea.
QuickBooks, Robin? Is it the random employer or is it the executives? Who would even know they're using QuickBooks?
Every crappy company I've worked for, everybody knew it was run poorly, bro. And everybody
when you worked
knew.
for Gordon Ramsay, did you know they used QuickBooks? Did you know what Gordon was doing on his weekends? Did
His
you know what
company
he
is
was
run
doing?
very well?
Did you know he was going to the
company is
clubs?
run
Did you
very
know?
well, and it is apparent.
How do you
and
know that?
obvious. It is apparent and obvious.
So
And-
if Gordon Ramsay comes out, and Gordon, I love you. I want you to know that I met you. You're an amazing person. But I'm using you as an example. If story comes out, Gordon Ramsay was doing shady stuff in business.
Sure.
And I'll be like, Robin, you're an
And
idiot
at
because
face
you
value-
knew.
at
You're an
face
idiot, Robin.
value-
Robin, you're dumb. You're
No.
stupid. You knew, and you stayed. That's what you're saying.
But no, what I'm saying is that in contrast, I've worked for multiple companies where you knew theft was going on. You knew the managers there were stealing. You knew that the coworkers were stealing, and people turned a blind eye. And it was common knowledge from every hourly employee in there. It was common knowledge that was the environment. You can go look at Mario Batali's restaurants. You can go.
That guy's a
But
dude.
wasn't it common knowledge that
No, I didn't know that they were. I used to work for him. I didn't know
So
that
you
they
thought
were
he was a stand-up guy. You thought he was a great person.
I didn't know him. I did not know him. I met
Okay.
him once.
But were there not rumors that when he came in that he would harass the ladies? There was rumors before that came out that I heard about it. I'm just saying that, like, the people that work at companies that are, the people that work at companies that are full of fraud, theft, and manipulation, they know that crap, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And guys, if you've worked somewhere, put a 1 in the chat. If you worked somewhere that was full of fraud, nobody talked about it. Or theft.
That you knew and you didn't talk about.
Yeah. Or if you think that you can't ever tell, put a 2 in the chat.
In the
If you
world
got
of in this world of information, no one said anything. Okay.
Gordon Ramsay is dope, by the way.
I love
I've
Gordon
met that
Ramsay.
dude too. He's like super
He's a
genuine,
super dope
so
guy.
nice. And
Robin used to work for him. I've met Gordon Ramsay.
I was a chef for him.
He's super cool. I love you, Gordon.
Okay.
You know, Gordon did launch a Hell's Kitchen in the metaverse at the height of. All right, let's move on. So you remember the Mango Markets thing where the guy made off with 110 million and kind of bragged about it and was like, "Hey, I didn't do anything illegal. This is how it was set up. I was able to manipulate the price from both ends and cash out 110 million." Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's in jail. Not in jail, but he's being criminally charged for commodities fraud and manipulation for trying to steal about 110 million in October by rigging the Mango Markets crypto exchange. This was Mango Markets is on Solana, and the person's name is something Eisenberg. Avraham, not Abraham. Abraham with a V. Avraham. Eisenberg, not to be mistaken with the Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. He was arrested on Monday night in Puerto Rico. December 23rd, complaint signed by FBI Special Agent Brandon Rax said Eisenberg
Racks on racks on racks.
Racks on Racks said that this guy on October 11th used 2 accounts to concurrently buy and sell futures based on the relative values of the Mango token and stablecoin USDC. By being on both sides of the transaction, Eisenberg artificially inflated the price of Mango relative to USDC, allowing him to borrow and then withdraw 110 million of different crypto. The complaint said, all Mango depositors will be made whole, with token holders who vote for the settlement agreeing not to pursue any criminal investigations or freezing of funds once the tokens are sent back. And this was part of the negotiations, right? They reached a settlement. Mango with this guy Eisenberg reached a settlement to recoup 67 million, but now the guy's going to jail. He also tweeted, "I believe all of our actions," this is the hacker, "I believe all of our actions were legal open market actions using the protocol as designed, even if the development team did not fully, anticipate all the consequences of setting parameters the way they are." Hey, we see manipulation in the traditional markets every single day. There is manipulation in every single market. I don't care what you guys say. It is the truth. They're not all caught. There's some of them are smaller. If you understand high frequency trading and what these people do, what these bots do, they literally steal from you. They literally steal from you. And some of it's not illegal. And so this guy's saying this is not illegal. There was a backdoor or whatever the case was. He was able to exploit it. Did he do anything illegal? Robin? I know we're not lawyers here, but you know.
Here's my advice. If you do something extremely unethical and you steal from people, because you know whether or not it's legal or whatever, you agree that's what it was, right?
Yes.
He stole from a protocol. He found a loophole or took advantage of the system. He went outside of the general rules, right? Or how it's supposed to be run. And he drained it. And yeah, man. And I think here's my piece of advice. Don't go around gloating and discussing it like you're almighty, because somebody's going to be pissed off and they're going to find something to nail you down with. Remember, was it Jimmy Hoffa? Who was the...
You're talking about Jim Hopper from Stranger Things?
No, the mobster that...
Jimmy Hoffa.
Is Jimmy Hoffa, right?
Hoffa. With an A.
Anyways, they couldn't get him on any of the mob related. Anyways, they just
Tax evasion?
Yeah, tax evasion. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I'm getting at is don't be careful. You if you're highly unethical and you basically steal money from people and you do it in a way that you evade prosecution, be careful because somebody will dig something up on you. And yeah. So
Just the blockchain. It's all on the internet. It's all visible. Like we were talking about the other day, like somebody had bots set up. They had bots set up for, what was it that we were talking about, David? Where do they?
High frequency trading?
The bots that Was it the FTX? They had bots set up on some of their wallets, and that's how they had kind of noticed. When
New Genesis.
New Genesis.
No, they had tags to every token. And so when they saw the tokens trading on the open market, they weren't tagged. And so they knew that the tokens that were trading, whatever Alameda was doing, was fake.
Mm-hmm.
So
there was a lot of ones in the chat. I just want to throw that out there.
what was one for again?
One was if you've worked somewhere that everyone knew there was corruption, theft, and stealing. And that was just kind of the general. And also decided to go back down memory lane here. Is your boy Gordon Ramsay there? How you doing?
Hey.
Look at that hair.
That hair's pretty wild.
Yeah, I had a lot of gel then. So anyways,
Too much jail? Too jail.
Charging too much for mangoes?
All right. This next piece of news. All right. I'm curious what the chat thinks. Okay. You'll get our takes, but I'm curious what the chat thinks. Over 60% of Ethereum blocks are OFAC compliant. Is this a reason to worry? This is sourced from thebitcoinist.com. Just months after the proof of stake upgrade, a new problem has reared its head, and that is how much easier it is to sanction ETH addresses or transactions. Back in August, the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control, aka OFAC, imposed sanctions on multiple dApps on Ethereum, including Tornado Cash and Blender, because they're saying that North Korean hackers were using it to hack money. The majority of ETH blocks are now compliant with the OFAC sanctions, with more than 60% of those blocks being compliant. This means that the majority of ETH blocks are not adding transactions that have interacted with sanctioned applications such as Tornado Cash, drawing criticism of the network and how truly decentralized it is if this is happening and will continue to happen. If all relays were to comply with these requirements, it would mean that the government could successfully blacklist a wallet on a blockchain that is meant to be decentralized and keep the address from being able to transact, just like with a blacklisted bank account. What? Man, I don't like this, man. I don't like this at all. I'm in the camp of you give this kind of, the one thing we have left, okay? The one thing that is still in our control right now, and that could change in the next 6 months or a year, is the blockchain, cryptocurrency. No matter if we try to get canceled and they try to cancel our bank accounts, look at what happened to Kanye West. And I'm not saying I like Kanye West. I'm not saying I agree with Kanye West. The guy is outspoken. He said some things, whether you agree or disagree with, whether it hurt your feelings or didn't hurt your feelings. And he literally had his bank account frozen. And so what's his other avenue, right? It would be something like crypto. And if the largest smart contract layer one platform is adhering to and could be essentially manipulated by the government to shut people out, is that not something to worry about? I am concerned. Are you concerned, Robin?
Nope.
Of course you're not. Of course you're not, because you're a government official. You're a government.
Do you
crony.
want you talk about it all the time. He's like, oh, we got to get this crypto's got to be accepted as a form of payment, legal tender. When are we going to get an ETF? Label it as a commodity. You want the government to play around in our space. You want them here so bad. You don't get the government without their rules.
Who said I want the government to play in our space?
You do all the time.
When have I
just gave you
ever
all
said I want
those
the government
examples.
to play in our
What's
space?
going on with the ETF? When is the regulation coming?
That is not the government playing
Can we
in our
audit the CBD? Can we audit the
Did you forget your meds
stable
today or
coins? No, my meds are good. I'm actually on no meds. Only caffeine today.
Well, maybe you should get on meds
I went
because,
from coffee to straight tea. How you doing?
Okay, so you think that it's going to stop at terrorists and countries that are whatever?
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just not surprised. And it's
No, I said, are you concerned? You said no, you're not concerned.
Because I knew this was the direction we were going in anyway.
So then what if they start to blacklist your ETH addresses,
when
Robin?
you talk about CBDCs,
I don't want a CBDC.
They're coming though.
I don't care.
That's what I'm saying, is that they're coming whether you want to or not. Governments are going to be using cryptos whether you want to or not. Institutions are going to be using crypto whether you want to or not. And you know what? If institutions and governments use crypto, they're going to influence the rules of the game. That's just what they've done in history. And whether you want it or not, that's the direction we're going to go. Unless you use the Bitcoin network with only Bitcoin and you don't use any intermediaries and you just do peer-to-peer transactions, I send money to you, you send money to me without nobody else touching it. That's the only way you're going to get away from governments in its entirety, at least right now. Maybe Ethereum will be like that in the future, but right now it's not.
I want to know what the chat thinks. Is this concerning that 60% of Ethereum validators or node validators, whatever you want to call them, that they're playing with the OFAC sanctions, that they're compliant, 60%. Put a 1 if you're concerned, put a 2 if you're not concerned. Let us know what you think. And I want to talk about this real quick. So this is kind of funny. So you have this guy named Dmitry Medvedev, who is general counsel for Vladimir Putin. He has made his 2023 prediction for the U.S. You ready to hear it?
Go ahead.
Civil war will break out in the U.S. California and Texas will become independent states. Texas and Mexico will form an allied state. Elon Musk will win the presidential election in a number of states, which, after the new civil wars end, will have been given to the GOP. What odds would you give to this coming true?
Well, he can't become president, right?
Elon?
Yeah.
He wasn't born here?
He's from South Africa.
Yeah. So that's actually factually incorrect or impossibility.
Thank you, Mr. Medvedev. We
What
appreciate your
was the
concern.
1s and 2s again?
1 is if they're concerned about the OFAC sanctions, that ETH, the blocks are not, are compliant. And 2 is that they're not.
Got it.
Yeah, Medvedev.
Me and Rusty Bot are on the same page. Everybody else, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course. Someone said loud-spoken crypto expert. Loud-spoken, what the hell are you talking about, expert? All right, guys, that'll do it for the show today.
Hold on.
Oh, no? Okay. Then not do it for the show today.
No, I just want to get some love to the chat.
Okay.
So, to those of you that are new, we got Cliff Smith, we got Bill McDonough, Big Irish Crypto Omar, and then we got Can't Get Right, Ivalov, Door Gunner, NW, Addy V, XRP Marshall, Cryptopian, 1, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto, and goodbye from Sin City Crypto.
That's right. Guys, go check out our social media at Sin City Crypto 1. That is our Twitter. Also, the rest of the links you will find in the description of this video. Go pick up some merch from our merch store. Compliments of the Don Rocco himself. He's giving everyone 10% off. And if you're a Whale member, which huge shout out to our Whale members. We have Redman, Crypto Billy. We have Brokey Yoshi, Jimmy, our Whale members. And if I missed you, I'm terribly sorry. I will allow you to face slap me one time. I believe that's all the ones we have. But anyways, guys. Kyler? Friends, family, friends, and family, friends. We thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful hump day. We are 2 days away from Friday, which means we're 3 days away from a new year. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Kyler, thank you guys so much. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Until then.
Big shout out to Lag. Hola!
Lag. I will love.
Lag.
Who wants to hear me spit some bars real quick, bruh? What's up?
Mute his mic.
Yo,
Mute his mic.
microphone checker. I'ma go straight at your necker.